Hello and welcome to the Heed Army Podcast Live. Have you recovered from Tuesday night and Saturday collectively? Two games that had the heart in the mouth many a time, but Gateshead overcame and got through to the first round proper. We want to know how you felt about those two games. If you are at both of them, please do get in contact. It's fully interactive. We've got messages coming in already, which is absolutely fantastic. As you can see on the screen, Mickey's here as always, and we're joined by Mark Carruthers. And Mark had the pleasure of joining us on the mic on Tuesday night, and we didn't have time to breathe at times, did we?
We didn't. It was everything an FA Cup tie should be at that stage of the competition. It was competitive. It was physical. It got a bit tetchy at times, but I've got a lot of time for that. I think both sides got swept up in the occasion at times, and it made for a better cup tie. We should say as well, massive credit to the Marske fans that travelled, because they played their part in what was a proper cup tie atmosphere as well. I know there was 1,100, just over 1,100 there.
Yeah.
But to me, it felt a lot more than that, because at times we couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, especially when I forgot the headphones for you. So Mickey, we just mentioned there, it was a classic FA Cup tie, wasn't it? It was a bit of a trifecta. It was a local derby. There was something at stake, and it was the FA Cup, just 100%, wasn't it?
100%. I put it up there with the York game when Gary Mills was in charge of York and won 3-2. It was a similar game to that.
Yeah.
It was just end to end. There was always something happening. Kedwin Scott, Macaulay Langstaff, and Wheatley and Boys, and it was just a fantastic advert for North East non-league football, to be fair.
It certainly was. I'll quickly read out some messages, and then we're going to put the highlights up behind us where we talk about it a bit more in depth. Charles Waffles, but good evening, boys. Thank you, Charles. Evening, lads. Madness. 2 days, hopefully another win on Saturday. Yeah, so we'll get onto that as well a little bit later on. Oops, I've clicked off the message there. Mr. Luke, hello, gents. Well, the week was enjoyable as the replay. Pardon me. I was there for the lads. Both sets of players were amazing throughout the game. Going to be a tough test against Brackley. Couldn't agree more. Craig Hilton is put, evening, lads. How are you? I'm all right. I've recovered from Tuesday and Saturday. Good result for the Heed in the replay. And Gordon Mann has put, how he is doing tonight. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm all right. Busy day. Really busy day. Was expecting to be finished by about 6 o'clock, and then South Shields have just announced a sign-in, so I had to recall some of my work that I sent into the local papers and rewrite them. So good day, and then get the pleasure of your two company.
For a second there, I've going off, and then the mother-in-law came round.
No, you said that, not me. Enough of that.
I'm sure she's absolutely delightful, like me.
I'm sure you'd rather be sitting with a mother-in-law than us two.
Well,
let's toss the coin, though.
It was. Let's get
you
off.
Said that, not me.
I think he's trying to say we're the worst, but let's get into it. Obviously, we're going to put the highlights up here behind us as we're talking. It was just end to end, as Saturday was, and huge. Before we start, huge credit. You mentioned the Marske fans that came up, the players as well, the commitment they showed. They didn't make life easy for Gateshead, did they?
No.
Marske don't make life easy for anyone. And I wrote a piece for the Sunderland Echo, which went out today, actually. Not specifically focused on them. It was focused on really the North East non-league scene in the FA Cup this season. But obviously, Marske, apart from Gateshead and Morpeth, are the last survivors in it. And they get pigeonholed as a direct and physical side. Now, they can do that side of it, but they've got players in that team, the likes of...
As you said that, though, that was just when Kedwin Scott, the bad tackle from Wheatley.
the likes of Curtis Round, the likes of Craig Gott. The good footballers, Dale Hobson has been one of the most creative midfielders in North East non-league football for a good 6-7 years now. And you don't have players in your side like that if you can't play a bit of football. So I think it's really unfair that they get tagged as being just this direct team that relies on long throw-ins and set pieces. It's a total non-entity for me saying that sort of thing, because they're a good side. They played some good football on Tuesday as well.
I just think they showed a bit more of the physical side to maybe what we've been used to this season. So that's maybe why I think a lot of people thought they were a little bit more, I'll say a bit more thunder in the tackles.
Which I do get, but you can guarantee this season, before the end of the National League North season, Gateshead will play clubs and sides that are far more physical than what you see Marske as. They create chances. Boys is a very good striker. You look at the record he's got in the FA Cup this season and in every competition for that matter. And for me, this could sound disrespectful. It's not meant to, but he's playing below his level. I think for me, he could still do a job in the National League North, and I think we saw that on Tuesday night. But Marske this season, I'm pretty confident, and I know Mike Williamson said the same. It's in a piece I did for the non-league paper today. He thinks they'll get promoted this year, and I think he's bang on. I think Marske are one of the best sides in that division, if not the best. The squad's maybe not the biggest, so they may have to rely on avoiding injuries and suspensions, but I can certainly see them competing with the likes of, your Morpeths and your South Shields next season.
Well, they're sitting in second at the moment, aren't they? And they've got games in hand because of the cup run. So you've got to imagine that they are going to be up there, and deservedly so if they can play like that, because, yes, we got through them. It looked like we did have a little extra gear at times, but, for a side 2 leagues below us part-time, they showed a hell of a lot. But our lads, they kept focused and they overcame and found the gaps when they kept probing.
I think from my point of view, the kind of what Gateshead were poor at on Tuesday night was that they conceded goals when the game looked as if it was out of reach of Marske, and they gave them a route back in, which gave them a bit of hope. Now, I wouldn't say the last 5 minutes when the second goal went in, it was exactly backs against the wall. It wasn't, but you could see there was a buzz about Marske, and they just wouldn't let go. This just coming up here is unbelievable defending, by the way.
Yeah, if you watch Wheatley go back on the line, it's great defending.
It is. And now, I said that to Dave in commentary, that it's easy for a defender at that point to go and pressure the ball because that's where the danger is, or where it seems. But Wheatley, with all his experience, has gone back on the line. Once he's there, that's only half the job, because he's had to stick out that leg and get it round the post. It could have easily just sneaked inside. It's just an unbelievable bit of defending. And I have to say, I know, was it Timon got man the match for? Oh, no, it was Kaprick, sorry, the goalkeeper got man the match for. For Marske, but I have to say, I think I thought that there were a few another brilliant clearance, but I thought Wheatley was right up there as well. By the way,
over the 2 games, he's been outstanding for me. He's not the quickest, but he's just a rock.
I mean, also, we know that was a bit of a mistimed challenge where he got the yellow early in the first half, but to play with the gusto and the force that he still did as a defender, and not be shy out of any tackles or one-on-ones and foot races, just shows you how good he is, because you've seen defenders over the years when they get a yellow early in a game might just pull out of a tackle, and he didn't. He was fully committed, and he made life hell for forwards throughout the game.
Right, just this is the first goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, that's a good finish. Again, it looks a simple finish, but and I said Adam after the game that ball flew off the crossbar. It's a skiddy surface. It's popped up in front of him. He's got to keep that under control. He's kind of got to get over it and head it down to the ground. I think it's a really good finish, as much as you may look at it and go, well, he's just heading the ball at an empty net. But I think that was a far more difficult finish than what it looks. And I felt for Macaulay Langstaff on Tuesday, because he did a lot of things right. He just couldn't get the goal, but I thought he was outstanding. He's pace, he's movement, he's picking out passes. That was a great save as well, even though it was
that was a save, definitely a save.
But yeah, Langstaff just, for me, looks as good as there is around in Northeast Non-League football at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I say, Mickey, it was just heart and mouth stuff, wasn't it? I mean, we spoke after the game, and I think we mentioned just before we came on air, I mean, I had adrenaline pumping until at least midnight. It took us a little while to calm down after that one.
It was so on the edge. It was like when the final whistle went, not only were you over the moon that you'd won, you were over the moon the game had finished.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if it had went in extra time, I don't think my heart could have took any more.
I would.
It was.
I mean, if you're a neutral, you probably would have loved it to go into extra time because the way it was being played. I mean, dare I say, the only thing that was missing was a red card. But you don't want that. I think the game was played at a good tempo, a good pace, and more in the right manner. It was a heated local derby, FA Cup, big. The first round at stakes. Remember, Marske haven't got the first round. First time they had the name in the hat, but they didn't actually make it to the first round, which is a shame for them. But I think we said on Mark's show on Monday night, I think it came out tonight, that I think this is the first time in a long time that there's only one team from the Northeast made it through to the FA Cup first round, which is a little bit sad considering the calibre of teams we've got in the Northeast.
Yeah,
it is. But I think this year more than ever, there's been a lot of ties between Northeast clubs. So inevitably, there's going to be fewer who'll get through to the latter stages. It's you look at Maske's run, and to beat South Shields and then to get a draw against Chester and then to go to Chester and get a 4-0 win. Now they've beat South Shields 3-0, beat Chester 4-0, and then drew 0-0. Held Gateshead to a 0-0 in the first game. So they just don't concede goals. So Gateshead have actually done really well to score 3 past them because they're so organised and so disciplined defensively that it was always going to take something a little bit special or a little bit clever to get that win. This, by the way, another one, and I was talking to Kevin Bolam, who obviously managed Kedwin at Heaven. It's a good finish, because he's put the keeper off balance there and just rolled it past him. And Kedwin is one of the calmest finishers I know. One of the calmest finishers I've seen in Northeast Non-League this season. He doesn't get phased.
At first, when I seen him get onto the ball, I thought he was going to take that right-footed, but he just calmly, switched it feet and, as you said, just slotted it home. And it was, as I said, that should have been game over, really, shouldn't it?
Should have been.
Nobody will need to tell Mike, what's happened there. He's his own worst critic at times, but he had the character. I have to say, apart from that, if you count the amount of times he headed the ball clear, on Tuesday night, he must have cleared 15, 20 out of the box. It was an unfortunate moment, but I thought apart from that, I thought he had a really good game.
Done the same on Saturday as well, Mark. Up at their place, it was him and Jacob, Matty Jacob, and Louis Story just kept heading the ball out of the box.
Yeah, this is absolutely top class from Langstaff, by the way.
I know. I thought this was fantastic. The awareness as well.
I mean, the run from Ollie as well is lovely. Where he just takes it down here and
just glided past him.
Yeah, beautiful. And
one of the things with Langstaff's work in the corner there, once you've chased a man down and then you've rushed to keep the ball in play, it's very easy with the adrenaline rushing to then go, I'm going to take him on again and try and beat him. But he hasn't. He's kept his composure. It sounds a really basic thing, but he's kept his composure and kept it simple. It would have been so easy with that adrenaline rushing around your body to take the man on in such a tight space. But to keep the move going the way he did was fantastic.
And it's a beautiful delivery in that there for Maske's second goal there. But you'd hope the defenders might have got off the ground there to try and challenge for it. What
gets me though, Mark, the pitch what we played on Saturday was absolutely shocking. And I've seen enough in that the first 45 minutes, never mind the whole game, and Marske to be able to play football. Why don't they get the pitch down, get it done properly, and play the football they can play? I can't understand it. I really can't, because
I think playing devil's advocate, playing devil's advocate on that one, Mickey. I think they tried to change the conditions to suit them for a physical game on that, even though we know they can play. But I think it's the home tie, it's a tight ground, fans on the back. I think they played the wicket they wanted it. That's the way I would say.
To be fair to Masque, they still play good football on it, by the way. And I know it didn't look great on Saturday. I wasn't at the game. I was, down at York with Morbeth, but they still play good football on that pitch. They are still capable of doing that. And I get where you're coming from, but I just think it's Dave's right. They've got the conditions they wanted that they're used to, that suits their game, but they are used to playing on it and they do get it down. And I will say it again, they aren't just a direct team. They can play through the thirds. They can, get the Hobsons. I thought it was really interesting. Again, I think I said this in commentary, Dave, that Dale Hobson has always been a number 10 from as long as I've seen him. He's always played in that 10 role. He did when he was at Spartans or at Whitby. I thought it was really interesting watching him on Tuesday night when he was a little bit deeper and almost playing as like I'm calling it football manager terms here, but like a deep line playmaker. He was getting the ball in front of the back four, and that was really interesting for me. And Marske, I thought, did themselves credit. They did the region credit throughout both games, throughout this cup run. I think they've been fantastic. They deserve probably a lot more credit than they do get. And I don't just mean from supporters. I mean from the wider audience. By the way, they're a club that I think will go up this season, and they'll be a real threat next year in that level above.
I'll be totally shocked if they do not win that league next year.
Yeah. The cup runs might not be over, because once they get into the FA trophy, you wouldn't expect them to not do well in that. At least get a few rounds in. Obviously, Joe's put here their fullbacks were superb. Stretched us both. I mean, Connor Smith.
Is it Connor Ground or something? Oh,
no, Kurt Ground was he plays left wing but wears number 3 shirt. Yeah, they're number 3. It looked good on the left, and I was impressed. Well, there was a few of the players. I mean, Connor Smith, number 7 for Marske as well. He was very good. He picked up a lot of loose balls and kept it flowing for Marske as well. And we've got here, I have to leave early in midweek games to process photos for the papers, and had a listen to the actual commentary made. It was a massive disappointment leaving early. Well, as heart was in the mouth when we were still there, but thankfully we held on, and some fantastic pictures from Charles as well. They've been on.
Charles, he's a great photographer, by the way.
He's
great work for the club.
So do you have to do interviews as well afterwards, Mark, or do you just go home after the commentary?
Well, I feel like going home after commentary after spending 2 hours with Dave. But no, I've actually got a job to do after that, mate. No, like I say, on Tuesday I spoke to Mike Williamson, spoke to Adam Campbell about the game, and I've got a couple of pieces coming out over the next couple of weeks with both of them and with Macaulay Langstaff. Actually, I was over at the stadium on Thursday to speak to Macaulay, so that should be coming out next week. It's more a kind of general piece about his time at Gateshead. Some really open and honest bits come out of it. I'll not give too much away, but pretty much admitted that he hadn't really hit the levels he wanted to before this season.
Yeah.
But what I will say, and kind of being in and around the club during the summer and speaking to people, the constant message was that Macaulay Langstaff has been flying in training, and to keep an eye on him. I'll be honest, when I looked at the squad this season, I thought it would be all about Kedwin Scott and Adam Campbell, but I don't think I would be alone in thinking that. But when you spoke to people who watched them in training day in, day out, it was very evident that Macaulay would be in that starting lineup, and they all felt confident that he would make an impact. And that kind of comes across in the piece, or it will do when I finish it.
Yeah. But see, while we've got you here, obviously we've got a big game on Saturday. Brackley at home, a team that's doing very well, sitting second in the league. Obviously, if Gateshead can keep the run going, we're playing well at home. If we can get 3 points here, it gets very exciting to see us with a game in hand. I mean, we've got that game against Kirch National on Tuesday. Another tough game, and then Fylde after that. These are probably the 3 biggest games of the season in a row. I don't know if there's any other as tough as this in a row throughout the fixtures. But just looking at Saturday itself, if they can get 3 points there, that has to be a real. I'm not going to say shot in the arm, but a real. I'm trying to think of the word.
I think Saturday is a way to lay down a marker.
That's what I was trying to look for. Yeah.
I think I was letting them struggle, man.
It's going to be a tough game. You know what you're going to get from Brackley. We've seen them enough. I've seen them enough against a number of Northeast non-league sides, and it's always the same sort of game. Gateshead will have to stay patient. They will have to pick their moments when they go at them, or they'll get picked off on the break. But it is a good chance to lay down a marker, as I said, and to really show their intentions for the season. I said this at the start of the season, that when those odds came out and Gateshead were 20-1 to win the title, it was very, very generous. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the title. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But 20-1, when I looked at some of the clubs that were lower priced, was very generous. Tuesday, I know you want to focus on Saturday, but Tuesday is a bit of an unknown quantity now because obviously Steve Cunningham has left.
Yeah, strange circumstances.
Yeah.
Filled us in. I don't know if that's sort of been online what he told me, but I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it. But
well, I mean, the Kurz National put out the statement saying that they found out that him, his assistant manager, were talking to another club.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been done. Whatever's gone on there, but that I don't really know what will happen in that game. If I'm honest, and you don't want to look beyond Saturday, but it's literally one of those where anything could happen because of what's going on. There's a Ket or an interim manager, I think they called him, who's in there. Depends how the players react to him. Steve Cunningham.
I don't know if there's something I seen a tweet that they're appointing someone. I don't know if it was interim or it was permanent appointment, but someone.
From what I can gather, he's well respected around the club. That's what I read.
And he's done a good job there because
they're a club for me.
They're a club for me that are punching above their level.
No one would have predicted them to be there.
But then I look at these next two games. If Gateshead, yes, I think everyone would love to see 6 points, and it'd be great to see that. But if they come through the next two games with 4 points to set them up to go to Fylde, which is going to be probably the toughest game of the season, that one, the next 7 days could lay the foundations for something that could be very exciting, as you said, Dave.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously it's ifs and buts, and I'm sure Mike Williamson is only concentrating on the one game in front of him. I think that's obviously his style, and but I think we've seen on Tuesday night that he's had a few players starting to come back from injury. We've seen Jack Hunter introduced for a bit of action, which was great to see him back in the mix. We know Elliot Forbes isn't far away. We've actually got the interview from Gates FC TV to play out soon. But to see these players coming back, it's like new signings, and especially when we think what Danny Greenfield was like last season, and he's yet to come back into it. I know he's obviously
Williams yet, are we? Really?
Yeah, Luke Williams. We don't really know much about his what he can bring to the team, and we've seen flashes in pre-season. That's about it, really. So it is exciting to see these players come back.
I think for me, and certainly the time I've been covering, the non-league game, this is probably one of the strongest squads I've seen Gateshead have. I think I look at everyone always points towards the Mills squad, and rightly so, but. That squad that got to Wembley in terms of depth, I'm not entirely sure it was as good as
it did.
The squad that now in terms of numbers.
The consensus of the Mills squad is that it was lacking up front, even though we had a couple of yeah, so it's
but it's exciting times, and Saturday is going to be really tough. But get a win Saturday and go to Curzon and get something, and it sets things up really nicely for what's a huge game at Fylde.
It certainly is. Well, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. I love it. Mickey, have you got any questions there? I didn't mean to talk with you there.
Well, there's one question. We're talking about Fylde. I think Spennymoor's got a big say in this league,
I agree. 100% agree with you. And I look at that Spennymoor starting lineup, and I think it's as good as anything in the league.
Yeah.
I just worry with Spenny. You look at the bench, and I have to say this, me being totally honest, I don't know a lot about their academy players. But there are 2 or 3 academy players on the bench, so I worry if they got to the dark winter when the injuries start piling up and suspensions, that would be a concern. But when you look at the players that we all know very well, the Chandlers and James Curtis, Glenn Taylor, and Rob Ramshaw, they've added well this summer. They've only made 2 signings, but they both come in, McLean and Lafudu, the fullback, and they're both very good signings. So been really impressed with Tommy Miller. It would have been easy for him to go in there and completely obliterate that squad and put his own stamp on it, but he's gone in and just tried to evolve things from what Jason Ainsley had there, rather than kind of what do they call reinvent the wheel. He hasn't done that. He's just gone in and kind of
tweaked it,
add a little to it. So I absolutely agree. I think Spenny won't be too far away, but I think you could be looking at 5 or 6 clubs could be in for the title, and then the rest will be left to scrap for the playoffs. So it's a really interesting league this year.
Oh, definitely. I'd say it's going to get exciting, and hopefully they can continue in this next week. Well, Mark, it was a pleasure as always. And if anyone wants to go onto Mark's social media, he's retweeted and tweeted out the Northern Gulls show, which came out today, although a couple of days late. But we were previewing the game on that.
If you want to go and watch it, we do preview the Gateshead against Marske game. So just in case you want to know what might happen in that game.
But the wonderful
jokes aside,
on it though, so it's well worth a watch.
That there is a lot of talk about the Northern League and the interesting divisions below Gateshead as well. We look at South Shields and Morpeth and their fortunes in the Northern Premier League and that really intriguing East Division with the likes of Heaven and Dunstan and Shildon pretty much all doing well at the moment, which is great to see. Stockton and Marske in there as well, fighting for promotion. So and that'll be out again next week. There'll be another episode next week. So thanks for the plug.
All the Northeast teams in the playoffs.
Championship. I know.
I don't think my work levels could take that.
Man. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for joining me on Tuesday night as well. It keeps me in check. Cheers.
Nice to see you, Mark. Enjoy your mother-in-law.
Will do.
Right. There we go, Mark Crovers there. Fantastic to have him on, and always great quality. Right, we're going to play a message on what to do with the show. You should like and subscribe, and also a message from our sponsors.
Hello everybody, remember to like and subscribe and share the show.
Well, Mickey, as I say, we went well in depth there with Mark Crovers. It's always great to have him on. And I say, even someone he was sitting in the stand next to me, and someone brought his book for him to sign as well. So it's like sitting it's like sitting next to a Northeast celebrity. So it was do you know that? Actually, just a side note, did you see Chris Eubank Jr. signed a microwave in Newcastle? Have you seen the news today?
No.
It is on eBay for sale. The current bid is £65,000.
What?
Exactly. So I might get Mark Crovers to sign a microwave. We might make £13.50. But yeah, generally.
I will let to get the microwave given though.
Oh, sorry, exactly. But I don't even know if it's a new microwave. Can imagine just marking a microwave anyway. But anyway, Mr. Look, the ref was awful sometimes. Loved when Kedwin Scott and Ian Watson started to wind up the Marske bench when Kedwin came off. I think that was a case of the Marske bench being a bit vocal during the game.
I think it was a case of what comes around goes around.
Yeah, Sam Penton's put, will be a tough game against Brackley. However, I'm sure we can rise to the challenge. Well, we have the interview from Gateshead FC TV. Do like and subscribe all of Gateshead's social media, and you'll get all of these interviews first and match reports and everything like that before everyone else. We're just sharing it because it came out tonight and gives good insight into the game on Saturday.
Mike, see Brackley coming up on Saturday. Back here at the International Stadium again, obviously after Tuesday's game against Marske. How's everyone been looking and training this morning?
Yeah, obviously 48-hour recovery period, second day, so the boys just had a light session, got a good flush. But yeah, looking sharp and looking forward to Saturday.
Do you notice much of a difference really after having a Tuesday game, or is that obviously why you work on the lads' fitness levels earlier on in the season for kind of situations like this?
Yeah, we obviously pre-season's there to build that robustness. We try and do a lot of the tactical stuff in the classroom, and then you go on field and walk through a few things. But yeah, like I say, lads are young and fit, and they respond really well. So obviously have a good session tomorrow and make sure we're ready for Saturday.
And Brackley coming up this weekend, right up there this season as they generally are every year. But what kind of test are you expecting from them?
Yeah, very difficult one. They're very organised. They've signed a couple this season, but they've got a great platform. They've got a wealth of experience at this league, and they're always up there. Obviously, sitting second at the minute. We've been top of the league, and yeah, they're setting the pace. So obviously we know how tough it's going to be, but we focus on ourselves and make sure that we're ready and we're hitting the levels we need to be.
Do you use sort of playing against teams who are, I suppose, contenders for the title and are up around the places that you want to be as a sort of barometer in terms of your progress, or do you not really compare yourselves to other teams too much, really?
No, we don't really compare ourselves to anyone. We know that every game's just a different type of test, and regardless, like I say, they've got very good players and they're very organised, so we know how difficult it's going to be. But ultimately, we focus on ourselves, and regardless who we play, we know that if we can bring that intensity, and we're switched on from the first whistle. We back ourselves.
In terms of team news, is there anyone carrying any sort of knocks off midweek, or is it the same phases who are going to be missing on Saturday?
No, yeah, we're still obviously Danny and Luke are still a little bit away. Forbes, he's been training well. Obviously Jack got a few minutes, which was really good. He's fully fit, but we still need to get him a few more minutes to get him up to the match pace. But no, like I say, other than that, everyone's well and healthy.
Obviously, you touched on Jack coming on for a few minutes there, and Forbes as well. He's been in training recently, as you mentioned. There, is it important to kind of treat them a bit carefully, given it's a while, I suppose, since they played competitive football?
Yeah, they've both had their spells out. With Jack, he's just been very, very unfortunate, and I feel like we need to get him as many minutes as possible. But yeah, it's obviously getting up to match pace is different to training, so it's about making sure you do it wisely, and so we don't pick up any other little niggles or injuries. But you'll be up to speed very soon.
And how much of a positive is it having those two and potentially others kind of coming back into the fold? And obviously you've been doing well with the squad you've got at the minute, although not huge in numbers, especially when you've got Tuesday Saturday game this week and then another Tuesday Saturday double away next week as well. Yeah,
it is important. Yeah, like I say, we want as many bodies fit as possible. But yeah, there's some big players that have been injured and missed out, and ultimately the lads that have come in have done very well. So it's very competitive, regardless of how small our squad is. But yeah, we obviously welcome back the boys because it gives us those options. And Saturday, Tuesday, it does take its toll.
Well, there you go. Very honest from Mike Williamson. So we've got trying to get the players back into the squad, going to bleed them in, the ones that have been injured. And so there's a lot of games coming thick and fast now. We've got 4 games in 2 weeks coming up, and you would imagine a little bit of rotation will probably happen now, Mickey.
You would imagine so. I mean, what intrigued me was he had the players in the day, 48 hours to the next game, and just give him a quick flush. I thought I'd been on the curry or
more about getting the legs going. We've got a few messages here. David Tron, Kedwin Scott, Campbell, and Langstaff link up players so good. We look good going forward. It certainly is. Mr. Luke, if we win against Brackley and grab something from Curzon, we could possibly challenge for the title. It's early doors, but you've got to get into these games. I thought the floodlights were poor compared to last season. It was very dark in some areas of the pitch, very challenging to take pictures. I do believe they're in the process of changing them.
I've heard them changing them over, haven't they?
Yeah, so it might just be a one game thing, but we'll see. Mason Ford enjoyed Tuesday and enjoyed seeing the news on Wednesday about a certain person. I don't know what he's on about.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah. As long as I stay away from Mike Williamson, that's all I say. But Mickey, I was saying that the ladies' game is just as important to us, and you were at the game on Sunday. What wasn't the result everybody wanted, but
just had one of them games on Sunday. Got beat 5-2. We were 4-1 down at half time. But just one of them games that didn't go, it's not dropping for you. But I've got to take my hat off the Hartlepool ladies as well. They played well.
Yeah.
I think they stopped us playing, to be fair.
But we're going to come up against tough teams this season because it is a step up, and it's a learning curve.
The Davidsons are formed.
Yeah.
So you can't complain, you know what I mean? The lasses have done tremendous.
Yeah.
They didn't get the result on Sunday. but they still fought. They never give up. It's one thing you'd say about the lasses.
Yeah.
They'll never give up. And they
Well,
ran their hearts out, every one of them.
Say they've got a big game coming on Sunday, though, haven't they, in the FA Cup?
Women's FA Cup, Harrogate Town, 2 o'clock kick off at the 4G. If you can get down, come down. Cheer the lasses on, because these are, by all accounts, these are a very good side. We beat Gisborne in the Cup 12-0, I think it was. And they were a league above us, and Ripon beat them 9-0 with a second string. And then Harrogate beat Ripon 4-1. So these must be quality. So it's going to be a really tough game. This will get into the first round proper of the Women's FA Cup.
It's be a great achievement, especially the first year they've ever been into the competition. But you know, obviously, I'm sure Simon will have it all planned out, and he'll have his have his ladies all focused in the build up to this game. Of course, they've probably just had training tonight, probably just finished, so they'll be all set up for it now, and hopefully they can get through. If we get the ladies team through the first round proper as well, just a shot in the arm
for the club.
Yeah.
Be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to both games at the weekend. I went 18 months without seeing a football match live, and then within the space of 2 weeks, I'm going to see 5 games.
Yeah,
2 Gateshead Lasses games and 3.
It's a lot of football.
It's a bit like overkill at the minute, but
yeah.
Beg your pardon. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The lads have been fantastic this season. That front three, I keep saying it, there'll not be many defences in that league will be able to contain that front three. I just hope we stay injury free. I mean, Dave, if I'd said to you, Kedwin Scott and Matty Langstaff would have 19 goals by near the end of October, I would have took that in December or January or February between the two of them. Never mind now.
Yeah.
And the lasses, they've stepped up a level. They won the league last year. They've stepped up a level. They're 4th in the league in the second season. Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic.
He is. Apparently, JJ was in the stand with Graham Wood on Tuesday.
Was he?
There we go. Great to see Graham Wood at the game as well. He was there down at Marske eating a pie and peas. I was talking to him before the game. It's nice to see him. He looked fit and healthy. Great to see him. So he's enjoying following Gateshead still, which is great to see. And also, you may have seen the news today. We had an inkling that this was probably going to be the case, but club president is going to be at the talking with Gary Mills, hosted by Matthew Raisbeck. So that's on the 31st. It's 10 days away. I still need to get
looking forward to that.
Still need to get my ticket. So we'll hopefully get along to that. And we still are waiting to hear back from Gary Mills. He did say he'd come on. We're just waiting for him to tell us when the best time is. I might send him an email just asking him if he knows when the best time is, and we can sort out a show, whether it's a pre-record or a live one. Either way, we'll be putting out a way for you to get questions to him, and we'll be able to do that. And so it should be pretty good. We're looking forward to that one.
It's lovely to hear Graham still coming. I mean, I know I've seen him a few times. He could have walked away and done whatever he wanted after but
yeah,
he'd been a Gateshead fan, a Sunderland fan all his life, and it's fantastic to hear he's still coming to the games.
It is. It's fantastic, and especially the way the world is at the minute. It was nice to see him fit and healthy and enjoying his football, and that's the most important thing. And that's also as well. Can we just say a big well done as well? I mean, we know there was a big large contingent of Marske fans come up on Tuesday night, but 2 games in a row over 1,000 home games, which just is absolutely fantastic. And hopefully on Saturday,
Dave, Marske can bring as many as they want up.
Yeah,
the money comes in the kitty anyway.
Exactly.
Now we've got to share it.
It's just great that the two home games in a row over 1,000. Please come and make it 3 games in a row. It'll be absolutely outstanding. Also, as well, if you're just tuning in, I haven't mentioned this earlier on, but I won't be providing commentary on Saturday. The BBC are though, but I'm not at the game. I'm at I was meant to be at a wedding, but COVID's hit the family. We haven't got a babysitter, so I've got to watch the kids now and listen nervously from home on the radio. So, but the BBC will be covering that for Brackley. So I imagine that's BBC Derby. Is it Derbyshire? No.
Northamptonshire, sorry.
Northamptonshire. Charles Waff has had some great chances, missing a striker on the day. Hartlepool were a very physical side. The lasses gave as much as they got.
Yeah.
And unlucky on Sunday, the ladies can hopefully get through in the FA Cup. Were Hartlepool a good side, Mickey?
There were, Sam, to be fair. There were some really good players among them. And I just think that they bullied us off the park at times. And it's a good thing for the lasses because they'll learn from it.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of young lasses in that team.
Sometimes you need a few lessons, as it were. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's not nice to lose, but you learn from that and hopefully come back stronger. And I'm sure Simon's probably said a lot more of the same thing in a more eloquent way, and geeing the girls up ready for the next challenge, and hopefully getting through to the first round of the FA Cup, which would just be a marvellous thing for both the men's and ladies team to do it, because there'll not be many around the country do that.
Probably not, but we need a striker to go up there as well. We've lost Jade Anderson as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit of a blow. She's a very good player, Jade. I hope she goes to a higher level and really tests herself, because she's a good player. And I think Simon's going to he's looking for players, and we've got Libby West coming back. Libby, she's only 16-year-old. What a talent she is. She was at a wedding over in Ireland, and she's back for this game. So that's another body in. So hopefully we'll get a half-decent team out and give Harrogate a game. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, Mr. Luke's put two massive games in the Northeast as Shields versus Buxton. Come on, Buxton! Thrash them. Gateshead versus Brackley, of course. Expect to get a good atmosphere. See, it could be two potentially massive non-league crowds in the Northeast, which is it's just good for non-league football. We're playing well, but need to eliminate the defensive lapse and mistakes. They're going to happen at every level. That's how people score. You can see, even world-class goalkeepers drop clangers, defenders, midfielders. Steven Gerrard slipped and lost a title. It happens at every level, and that's how goals are scored, unfortunately. But on the whole, you would say we're quite solid defensively, to be honest.
We're quite solid defensively, but we do keep making sloppy mistakes, Davey.
Oh, yeah, but it's early in the season. I'm
not having to go at them.
Oh, no. I'm playing devil's advocate as well. So, but,
I agree with Davey. I think some of the goals we've conceded this year have been pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
some of the goals we've scored as well have been absolutely sublime. So,
as long as you get the 3 points, I get through to the next round. That's all I say. But it's fantastic.
It's been a great season. I mean, what's the date now? October the what? I'm not
21st.
Sure. We're coming near the October, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the season so far.
Yeah, you always look forward to seeing your team play, but at the minute it's a little bit extra special because we go into a game, if we play our game, we've got more than a chance, and long may that continue. And I'm sure the likes of Mike and Busted will be drilling that into the lads, and Lewis Story as well. And I think a little bit of credit has to go to Lewis Story as well. I think he's added some dynamic to the coaching this year. There's definitely a change this year. It looks at, things are a lot more tight, a lot more solid. And I would imagine Lewis has played his part as well.
Well, you watch the training videos, and who was it Owen Bailey or Macaulay were talking to? And I said, you seem really tight in training. And you watch the videos, they're all laughing.
Yeah.
They've said the team spirit's excellent. I think it was Macaulay said it's the best team spirit he's been in the dressing room for, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, as I say, that just there seems to be a real togetherness, and as Mark pointed out before, Macaulay Langstaff could have easily got a rush of blood to the head and carried on that run after he won the ball down to the corner flag.
Great awareness.
He laid it off, awareness. And it's just long may it continue. It's just a lovely time. We've got about 15 minutes left. We'll try and stay on that long. I'm knackered at the minute, so we'll try and push through. But if you want to send your messages in, please do. We've got a few coming here. What's your favourite goals so far this season?
There's some bloody goals being in there. I think this was a good one.
Yeah.
Macaulay Langstaff's second against, I think it was Bradford Park Avenue, where he bent it round.
Yeah, that's the one I like. I like that one. Yeah.
It was
some corkers. Yeah, it's been some good ones. Hard to pick it out.
If I'm truly honest, at the minute I'll go for Tinkler's goal, but Kedwin scored a good goal, but I can't remember who it was against.
Mm-hmm. There was a Newcastle podcast talking to Owen yesterday about his career.
Yeah, I watched it, mate, naturally.
It's a good one, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't as funny as ours though, Dave.
What? No, none is. Mr. Luke's is Robbie Tinkler versus Gloucester.
Yeah.
Also, as well, it's happy birthday to Nelson Ogbury as well.
Nelson,
it's his birthday.
Happy birthday to King Louis.
There was a story, yeah, I was just about to say. We've got here, Nelson isn't being played at Heaven, so do you have him back in the first team in Jan or recall him from? I think it's probably development.
I think it's better staying there.
Better staying there, I think, at the moment. I mean, I can't speak for anyone at Gateshead. I don't know, but you would think if he's getting time, from the bench and learning, and he'd be watching the game as well. That's what he's got to do. He's got to watch the game and learn the game, watch how people's moving. It's not just about minutes on the pitch. He's got to be around football teams and doing this run.
If you listen to Kevin Bolam's name mug, the Pebben manager.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what he's got to say as well.
Yeah. The Ollie free kick.
Yes, I forgot about that one. Well said, Ryan.
Yeah, that was a
pearl, I know.
Sam Pendleton's put Macaulay goal versus Kidderminster, well-worked goal. There is just some absolutely fantastic ones. Sam Pendleton, he must have tuned in a little bit late there. He's got, who are the ladies playing on Sunday in the FA Cup?
Harrogate Town, Sam. They're in David Tron, if you can find it. I think it's the East, is it the North Yorkshire Senior League? David Tron will be able to get the gen up for us, please, David.
Leftover Venison, which is a great name.
Oh yeah, there's loads of that in our house.
Anyone know where Matty Patterson went? He left his role with the youth set up. Congratulations to Matty Patterson today. Became a father again to a baby boy. I think he's got girls, so it's his first son. So congratulations to the Patterson.
I did tell him Michael was a lovely name for a boy because I haven't picked the one yet.
Yeah,
says Mickey Patterson's gone as well as well.
Before he left, he had tweeted that he had joined a coaching setup with some academy. I don't know what kind of academy it was, so I think it might be a. I don't know if it's an international one. I might be wrong, but it's on his social media. But best of luck to him.
As well.
Yeah, lovely lad, and he always gives his all in a Gateshead shirt, and I'm sure I would say. By the way, all the youth team players and that commented on his baby boy. I think he's well thought of and liked as well in the academy setup. Charles Waff, I'm lucky to be pitch side where I can hear the positive communication between the players. There's never a negative criticism the players to each other, which is nice to hear. And Leftover Venison, he's got a big smile there. So yeah, and we've got another person here, Barry Lee. I'm watching from Macclesfield. It's great to see the club I have supported since I was 6 doing well. Come on the heed. Well, thank you very much, Barry. We might even try and get you on having a fan on from far. So if you'd like to message us just below, saying
the whale, any.
Yeah, if you'd like to come on the show and talk to us in the coming weeks, just say yay or nay in the comments, and you can reach out on Twitter. Yeah, we'll get you on.
I'm sure they've got internet in Macclesfield by now.
The last I heard, they were running the computers on cool. So, but yeah, no, it'd be good to get Barry on. As I say, we want to speak to more fans as well. I mean, we've had a lot of players on from both the ladies team and the men's team, but this is a fans podcast as well, and we want to get more fans on talking. So that's exactly what we want to do. And what we have, the details here. Harrogate Ladies are playing the Northern Regional Premier. So
yes, David, much appreciated, bud.
Definitely is. And Mr. Luke is I haven't seen him on the bench, but I've had a chat with Kieran Alpin and we talked about his loan spell, which I saw him on Saturday. He loves it playing said he loves it playing with other players. Well, hopefully Kieran Alpin can develop there as well. And Mr. Lucas, but sign me up for a fan interview. Yeah, we'll get you back on. He's already been on the podcast once before when we interviewed him at Dunstan in pre-season. So yeah, we want to reach out. That's what we want to do with
new fans as well. Come on, Barry, say yeah in there.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want them. I mean, I would like to say
Shrewsbury and what they call him, Higgins, Dave Higgins.
Yeah, we haven't had him on the video one, have we? So shout out to Shrewsbury Massive. But yeah, we want to reach out to people, and we'll go. Yeah, I can do. Gateshead, it's running our family. My dad died 3 years ago, so I'd love to come on and talk. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Dave Lucas, but get Dave Allen on. He's a big Dave Allen fan. Have you met him? Luke? You might change your opinion.
For a while. He's a good lad.
He's lovely. No, that's what we want to do. Just before we go any further, though, I'd like to be able to say a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in. I don't know if obviously there would have been a lot of neutrals and Mask fans as well, but we had, when we went off air, over 750 people had been listening just on YouTube alone. 120 odd on Facebook and another 120 on Twitter. So nearly 1,000 people actively listened to the game. I know from the analytics that the average listen was for over 20 minutes. So and we had listeners in from Texas, all over, and we got lots of compliments. So it was very, very nice. And we've tried to push as many people to come along to the show tonight. So hopefully we can get more people to come on and interact and be part of the show, because that's, if you know, this is what it's all about, reaching people. Like, we've got Leftover Venison here. He's put a nice comment. He's put the commentary for the match was great, best one yet, I thought. Well done, thank you. It was the game helped, and always having Mark Rivers there as well is it's a real delight, because he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, he is a wealth of knowledge.
I don't think you'll find a better non-league journalist in the northeast, or dare I say the country. But hopefully the numbers are absolutely shooting up on the show, on the commentaries, and we're getting a lot of people listen afterwards. There's still people listen to the audio version, which we put out as well. So it's just a big thank you to everyone. But we just want to keep saying, like, as it says just down that way there, subscribe. And the analytics, we're not going to make money out of the subscriptions. Don't worry, we're not trying to get people to subscribe to make money. We'll have to get another couple of thousand to get that. But if we can reach, as many as we can, and get the algorithm has actually said that if we can get another, I think if it's another 11,000 plays, that they'll actively start to push the advertisement to local people on YouTube. So hopefully we can do that and just reach more people that haven't even found out about the podcast yet. So that's what we want to do. We just want to get people, just getting into it. It'd be great.
But at the end of the day, Dave, this sounds like I'm blowing smoke up your arse, and it's not. You've worked hard at what you're doing. You've got the chance to do the commentary for the club, and you and Mark and you and whoever are doing a good job of the commentary.
Yeah,
you're learning. You still kind of get some players' names right, especially ones from Kevin.
Yeah, that was all.
But you're doing a good job. Keep it going, mate. That's all I can say. I read the comments, and I told you deserve it, because you've worked bloody hard at putting this thing together. It's not, for anybody listening, it's not bloody cheap for what he's putting together. He's done it off his own back.
Yeah, but on the negative side, though, dyslexia is a bugger when you're trying to read names.
I know, but when you've got names about this long.
Yeah, well, Mr. Lucas, so basically we had over 2,000 listening and watching the game. Yeah. So yeah, and so it's absolutely fantastic. I've been watching the Heat since Gary Mills' days, and this season's football has been fantastic, from the best I've seen in a long time. Great goals, and the football played is excellent. Hopefully it can continue throughout the season, and that's what we want. We want people to have that experience and get in the stands, and hopefully come along and see it.
Was it you that said it now, Davey? This football's on par with what I've seen with Gary Mills.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we've both said it.
It's been an absolute joy to watch. It might
Yeah.
fizzle out, but just never stop supporting the lads. The lads give 100%. Yeah, we might see it. Every club's got a scapegoat, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just
Well,
keep supporting the lads. I mean, the new Kedwin Scott song is absolutely fantastic.
That's it. We've got Mr. Luke. He's been with us since 25, 30 subs. So he's stuck with us through thick and thin. And on the sub thing, you need about 1,000 subs for monetization. So not far off. Yeah, just another 900. But
Leftover venison, just get all your mates to.
We don't want to make money off it. It's not about making money. It's about getting more people talking. That's because I'll let you. I was talking to someone from BBC Radio Newcastle down at Marske. They only sent someone down to do score updates and halftime and full-time update, and asked if they would be doing commentary or on Gateshead this year, and if possible, that with the Newcastle situation, would they be getting more money to cover things in the northeast? Obviously because it's big news, isn't it? What's happening there, and you'd think maybe Radio Newcastle might be getting a push, and he said highly unlikely. And that there's literally not much chance at all of any non-league games getting commentary this season, because there's no one there to do it, either to go out and give full match commentary or be on the other end to monitor it and put it out. So that's pretty sad. And not on a selfish thing for Gateshead, but for all the non-league clubs, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you would every weekend there was a non-league game, either with a massive build-up and match report after the game or full match commentary. And that's sad. You don't have that.
Look on BBC Sport website on a Saturday for the commentaries. If there's no international games on, and I'm picking two, York and Harrogate. Last international break, the whole show was dedicated to them two clubs, and it split the frequencies what Newcastle and Sunderland do.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to listen to Harrogate, you tuned in on whatever, and you listen to York. It also happens down in Northamptonshire, where they had Kettering on and Brackley. So I don't know why they can't do it up here, but it could be a monetary thing, Dave.
You know
what I mean?
It's pretty sad, especially when especially now. I think we can hand on heart say the Northeast is a hotbed of football, whereas 20 years ago, I don't think it really was. I think the teams at the levels they are now and how they're doing it is. We've got here Mr. Luke put next guest Neil Pinkerton for sure. We'll try and get him on. He's a very busy man. Obviously, time difference as well. And yeah, it's hopefully we can get them on and just find out more things. But we had Neil on a few months ago, more than a few months ago. But he's a busy man, and for Neil, there probably isn't much to talk about that would be interesting for the fans. It's probably quite mundane. The day-to-day behind the scenes things isn't really stuff you want to talk about or interesting. So
but down memory lane with Pink. So
oh yeah, definitely. And so as I say, we're getting the thing in there, and we've got Dave, you're filling the stopgap well, thanks. Is that just because of my size? I'm filling the stopgap. I'm just I didn't have this neck thing a few years ago, but we're getting there.
Dave.
No, it's not. It's just me eating crap. Really addicted to sugar.
Sugar. It's biscuits. I can't stand that. Before the lockdown, I never used to eat loads of biscuits. I can't stop eating the frigging things now.
Biscuits, sweets. The only thing is, I'll drink Diet Pop, but I mean, not that anyone's really interested.
Tesco's sparkly summer fruit water or lemon and lime. I don't drink Coke, and I not very often anymore.
We've got a lovely message here. This is from John Ollie. Hi, Greg's mum and dad love listening to the podcast. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you very much. I was speaking to Kedwin Scott dad after the game as well. I know he enjoys tuning in, and that means the world to us that players' families like to listen in, because sometimes making sure we're not talking bad. But no, I mean, it is. It's lovely because obviously sometimes we
Fantastic.
might be critical if a performance or whatever, but it's done with love. We love all the players, and anyone that's representing, we're going to get behind them 100%, no matter what.
How many years between we? I've got 35. How many you got?
Mine was first game was 96, so I'm getting up 25, 26 years. So yeah, it's aging. It's
Just
aging.
for the record, we're not blowing smoke up yours neither, John and Greg's mum.
No, it's
We
lovely.
absolutely love Greg.
I do. I love it a bit, and that's why we made this little advert for him as well. This is just for John and
The Ollie family.
this is for the Ollie family. Gorgeous, isn't he? Gorgeous.
Yeah. And I'm not saying now to John because I think he's one of these martial art fellas.
Dad, get him with a wind of me punch. I'm joking.
Mr. Ollie, he said that, not me, honest.
Yeah, no, as I say, and Greg, I mean, we say it all the time. He's since he got the captain's armband, he's just stepped it up again. Yeah, and Barry Lee, his first game was in 97, so he's in the same territory as me. That was my first season, 97, 98, and that was a season to forget. First full season anyway, that was not the greatest season. Started off with a bang, and the rest of the season was a whimper.
86, we won the league. I didn't see we lift the trophy, but we won the league.
Yeah, and we've got SGF from David Tron. I honestly love the heat. Well, that's probably the best way to end the show on. Miggy, thank you very much. It's a pleasure as always. We'll hopefully have some guests lined up for next week. See who we can get on. So we'll hopefully get Barry Lee. If you can tweet us at heat_army and message us, and we'll sort out getting him on next week or the week after. And see, we might even get John Ollie on as well. See if we can get some embarrassing photos of Greg when he was again.
And Ked's Nana, because Ked's Nana's a fantastic woman. Colin's a lovely bloke as well. His dad and his mum.
Yeah,
I've spoke a few times with his Nana.
His brother loves coming to the game as well, which was lovely to see as well, isn't it?
And I was sitting behind the Bailey family. I was in front of the Bailey family on Tuesday night, so I must be sitting at the family end, I think.
Actually, we've got a couple more messages here. 1 second. Barry Lee's right. Remember Colin Richardson as manager. I can in his second stint. And Charles Waff, this is a good one. This one's for the Ollie family. But Greg said to me as he passed taking the call, shout, "Get my best side, Charlie." So there you go. But no, thank you everyone. Remember, like, subscribe, share the show, and hopefully enjoy the game on Saturday if you're there. And we'll probably be on the Wednesday next week after because it's a game Tuesday, isn't it? So we'll if Mickey can you do Wednesday?
I think so.
We'll see. It'll be Wednesday or Thursday, but hopefully we can do Wednesday, so it's fresh off the back of the two games. Yeah. And if you're traveling down to Ashton, enjoy yourself. Stay safe, everybody. It's not looking good for the COVID numbers, but just
David might come passing Bundy in the car.
What, and take us down?
Aye.
Oh, didn't see that. My last I try to do in a radio. Reed, on that note, I'm gonna head off because I think I've got to do a Zoom call with Dan Wales for his radio show, so that'll be good. Do a little chat. I'm moonlighting. Can you see that? Getting it. I'm the one being interviewed, so I'll have to get off. But bye, everybody.
You listen, you. See you later.